Picture this. After searching around for a while, you find a great rental with no drawbacks, and then the landlord offers you a month-to-month lease. Sounds like a dream, right? Flexibility, freedom, no long-term commitment. So what's the catch? While month-to-month leases might offer you the freedom that you bargained for, they can also be a legal minefield. A month-to-month lease means you're paying rent every month, but unlike a fixed-term lease, there's no set end date. It automatically renews each month until either the tenant or the landlord decides to end it. It gives tenants a lot of flexibility, freeing them from having to commit to a year-long lease, which is great if they're planning to move soon or if life's just too unpredictable. In order to terminate the lease, either party has to give proper notice. If you're the tenant, you typically need to give at least 1 full month's notice before packing up. And if the landlord wants to tenant out, they also have to give notice, usually that full month in advance as well. But it can vary depending on where you are, what state you're in, and the local laws that apply. But here's the kicker. If the landlord doesn't like the idea of the tenant staying another month, they could just ask the tenant to leave, just like that, after giving their required notice. It's a lot less security compared to a fixed-term lease, where you're guaranteed to stay until the end of the lease term. If a tenant doesn't give notice and just walks out without a heads up, the landlord may not be so thrilled. And similarly, when a tenant overstays their welcome, the landlord might decide to treat it as a holdover situation, which could result in the tenant being liable to pay double rent payments or even forced eviction depending on those local laws. In the worst case scenario, the landlord can hold the tenant liable for damages or rent after the lease period expires. So yeah, while the month-to-month lease might feel like freedom, make sure that you as the tenant are keeping track of the rules. From a landlord's perspective, the month-to-month lease has its perks too, especially given that it's easier to raise rent or change terms without having to wait for the lease to expire. But again, it also comes with risks. A landlord doesn't have the security of a long-term tenant, and any tenant can just walk out with a month's notice. On the flip side, landlords can also ask for more notice before termination depending on local laws, so it's not just about having the upper hand, there are still rules. As a result, both parties have to keep an eye on notice requirements and be prepared for the possibility that the situation could change rapidly. While it's not all sunshine and rainbows for many, it's worth the extra freedom. No matter what you do, make sure you keep your agreements in writing, know the notice requirements, and be prepared for the unexpected. I love that you're still here because it hopefully probably means that you found value in this video. Check out this playlist right here, which has tons of other resources about landlord-tenant law. Let me know in the comments what experiences you've had like this or any other questions you might still have. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more legal insight because it's important that you remember, ignorance of the law is no excuse.